Hey guys, Chad Hoover, Kayak Bassin TV, and today I'm going to talk to you about connecting the dots. So the important part of connecting the dots is your ability to take information that both you garner from other folks and that you get yourself, and being able to put it all together, okay? So oftentimes in communications where you're relying on other people for information, there's stuff that gets left out, not intentionally in many cases or in most cases, but because there are certain assumptions on one party or the other that the other person knows certain things. Communication is almost always the breakdown, and that's why it's important for you to do a lot of your own work product and getting out there and experiencing, putting patterns together and things like that, unless you have excellent communication where all the variables are known by both parties. In fact, a joke that comes to mind to illustrate this point is simple. So there's a little girl that's told by her dad after she brings home her report card that he said, you keep bringing grades home like this and somebody's getting a spanking. So the next day the little girl looks at her teacher and she says, hey, Mr. Smith, I don't mean to scare you, but my dad said if I bring home grades like that, somebody's getting a spanking. So all the information was there, but certain assumptions make one person believe that the other person is going to have something happen to them or do something that necessarily isn't the case. Here's my point of this video, and it's called connecting the dots for a reason. It's actual dots. If you invest in some smart electronics, if you invest in a depth finder or a system that has a GPS, or if you use your Navionics app and you use your phone, and when you're out there and you find drop-offs and you find cuts and you find funnels and you find places that hold fish, if you mark fish and you mark that with the waypoint on your GPS, and as you progress through the day, if you continue to do the same thing, individually evaluating those spots may not put together the big picture for you of what's going on. But after spending the day and finding fish in multiple locations that seemingly are different places, and taking that and going back home and putting your depth finder in your lap, sitting on the couch or sitting at the table or sneaking out to the garage or whatever it is that's part of your routine. And if this isn't part of your routine, it should be. Virtual scouting and the concept that I call the aftermath, the time where you sit down and evaluate what happened on the trip, what you could have done better, what you can learn from the trip if you didn't do that well, is the concept that's at play here. So take your electronics and either take the card and pull it into your computer, or just simply bring it up on the screen and zoom out to where your waypoints can tell you exactly what's going on. Was there a pattern? Was there commonality between the places? What things were the same in each location? If you didn't catch fish, take that information, glean from it what you can, and then put it into play the next time. The one thing that it always helps me accomplish is that I learned from, oh man, when I got on that pattern, I caught fish here, here, and here, which were similar places. But I fished this place, and this place, which didn't produce fish. So I can eliminate that as empty water. Where that is beneficial to you is that the next time you're fishing and you develop a pattern and you connect the dots while you're on the water, that means you can look for other places like that while you're still on the water, or the next time that you go out, you could have pre-trip planned to put together a milk run or put some waypoints in your GPS to go look for places like that with those same conditions. Use the note function if you can. Use a note function in your phone, journal. Putting all these things together really helps you connect the dots. It doesn't make you rely on information from other people, where the communication breakdown can often be the reason that you don't catch fish. I hear this a lot. Hey man, you know a good spot on Gunnersville? Yeah, man, I know a killer spot. And the guy goes, will you mind sharing it with me? So the guy shares it. The next day he goes out there and he fishes. It's the middle of summer and he does exactly what the guy said. He's throwing a lipless crank and he's not catching a dang thing. Later that day, he's on the way home. He gets a message from his buddy, or he calls him up and says, hey man, I fished out there on Gunnersville today. How'd you do? How'd you do? I didn't catch a damn thing. Well, where'd you fish? I fished right where you told me. What'd you fish with? I fished exactly what you told me to fish with. And I hear this all the time, sitting in the truck next to people, overhearing conversations, seeing it at tournaments, seeing it in comments. Dude, you fish that spot right now? No, man, that's a winter spot. I don't go out there in the middle of the summer and throw a lipless crank. Man, the grass is up too high to do that. What that really boils down to is the one guy asked the question, the other guy answered the question, but it wasn't specific enough and enough information wasn't shared to really dial it in. And so that may sound silly and it may seem oversimplified, but when you start putting the pieces together, when you start connecting the dots, and literally on your GPS start connecting your waypoints, you'll figure things out faster. You'll be able to harvest the equity from that trip to make it pay dividends in the future. And to me, that is when you take your fishing to the next level. When you start connecting the dots, you'll start setting the hook more. When you start setting the hook more, you'll have more dots to connect, you'll have more information, and you'll catch more fish. And catching more fish, believe it or not, results in catching more fish if you take that information, take it to heart, decide whether you're catching the right fish, the wrong fish. And if you're catching the wrong fish, especially if you're catching little fish tournament fishing, you have to figure out what you need to do to start catching bigger fish, because a lot of times they're not in the same places. So start working on pattern development. Use your electronics, whether it's saving it in an app, saving it on your phone, or even drawing it on a map to connect the dots so that next time you'll be more successful. Guys, let me know if you like this type of video where I'm just sharing concepts with you by commenting below. Give the video a thumbs up. It's definitely an indication of what kind of response we're getting from the videos. If you like this type of content, and if you do, we'll keep bringing it. If you don't, we'll just go fishing and show you some more of that. So I got to hear back from you to know what you want. Don't forget to subscribe to Kayak Bass and TV. Watch one of these other videos here where I'm catching the fish using these concepts, and I hope you do the same thing. Appreciate the support, and we'll see you next time on Kayak Bass and TV. You can go watch the video now. I'm just going to let it run, but I'm not actually going to say anything else smart. I might say something funny, so kind of like the end of the movie where there's like another thing at the end. But of course now I've set the table to say that, and I don't have anything to say. But that doesn't mean next time I won't have a joke set up. So you always have to watch these videos to the end, because you never know if I'm actually gonna... Oh, you know what? Hold on a second. I do have something to show you though. Stay right there. Y'all didn't really just fall for that, did you? I'll see y'all next time.